Okay, are you all set to check out? Yes, I am, girlfriend. All right, would you like a bag? No, thank you, lady girly. I got one. All right, do you want your receipt? Yeah, thanks, she, her, female. Have a good one. Thanks, beautiful lady woman.
Everything I say about gender is influenced by my whiteness, which is obvious, but there's an interesting second part to this. The rejections of gender and gender roles that I create and embody will still come from my whiteness, those acceptable to my constructions of self as a white person. I will likely uphold and encourage white beauty standards and see and more immediately accept other white rejections of gender. Essentially, even the most critical analysis of gender I have will still be white, and white gender rejection can and does uphold whiteness and white supremacy. Queer appropriation of African American vernacular English is one example of this, as is mainstream exclusion of fashion excellence in Black representations of masculinity, while celebrating white men for having basic hygiene as if they're revolutionaries. Of course, that's not to say we can't attempt to take in other viewpoints, but it's still going to be a fundamentally white perspective. Even this is a white perspective. It's literally the only one I can give you. So if you want to learn how other people construct and deconstruct gender, you need to learn it from someone who doesn't look like me, because
when we teach students to be gender inclusive, we're teaching them to be better humans to each other, to be kinder, to not make assumptions, to break stereotypes. Gender stuff takes up a lot of brain space. And when kids are free to be themselves and express themselves how they want, they're able to relax and really focus on learning. When we say boys and girls or ladies and gentlemen, that's putting kids into two categories only. For someone who is gender expansive, they pick up on that stuff. And so you could say everyone, y'all, learners. I call my students epic humans instead. At the very beginning of the school year, we cover lab safety by looking at a picture. Students often start by just saying the girl is standing too close to the flame. And I'll say, you're right, that person with long hair is standing too close to the flame. And we really briefly explain that we can't know someone's gender just by looking at them. We can describe them by their physical features or use they. It takes less than 5 minutes and it's really effective. When students are playing outside, it's important not to corral all of the masculine presenting students for sports and have the feminine presenting students kind of sit and chat and do, more delicate things. Anyone can do anything. Anyone can like what they like. Clothes don't have a gender. Colors don't have a gender. When kids see that they can enjoy anything that they want, whether it's colors or activities, it just broadens their perspective and allows them to be creative and be their best selves. Something I find really helpful is displaying pronouns, your pronouns, on your desk, the sign on your door. The very first day of school, I introduce myself and I have an identity map with lots of different characteristics of who I am as a human. I have a picture of my cat and then I have my pronouns right at the top. That starts the conversation and gets kids thinking about maybe their own pronouns. Sometimes they're a little apprehensive about it, but when they get my pronouns correct, the first couple of times are like, yes, I did it. And then it just becomes so natural that it's just part of the everyday conversation.
A very serious question for those of you who keep missing my gender. When have you ever met a he, him who looks like this? Huh? She, her, yes. They, them, sure. He, him, who? And if you do know a he who hims like this, power to him. But the he, hims I know, never he, the way I, she. So when I present you with she, they so kindly, could you not he, him all over my sleigh? Thank you. Things that give me gender euphoria, but it gets increasingly more unhinged. Doing housework. There's just something that's so mommy coded about destroying a mountain of dishes or like crisply folding laundry. Beating men. Not like physically beating men, but like winning against men in like sports or a video game or life itself. Also, the color green. I understand that colors don't have gender, but a good green, that's just for the girls, babe. Next, I'm gonna have to say crying. Before I transitioned, I was one of those girls-boys who like never cried, and now it's everyday like clockwork, and honestly, what is girlier than sobbing uncontrollably? Next, doing any activity with the wind in my hair, like running, biking, convertibles, boats, wind tunnels. Those last three I actually haven't experienced, but I imagine the euphoria would be off the chart. Also, reminder that there is an ongoing genocide that we need to be paying attention to, talking about and calling our reps about. Just because your feed is back to normal doesn't mean the world is back to normal.